see for you to think that women have now been empowered? What is that one thing that you think is missing, that needs to be addressed?
I think, as Wanjiro said, there's this thing of NGOs and other organizations coming into the grassroots level to give women trainings. But then again, you're giving a woman who doesn't have funds training, you know, on business and how to start a business and how to run a business. But then again, where is she going to get the money to start a business that you have come, you know, to train her on? So I think economic empowerment is key, and it's the freedom that most women and young women, especially in the grassroots level, need. Like, I come from Kiamaiko, Mathare to be exact, and the challenge that we have in most young women is that they don't have economic empowerment, maybe to start a business. Other have finished even Form 4 and they don't have even the funds to go to college or university. So I feel like if we can open up doors for economic empowerment, then we can start realizing that dream of women empowerment and start seeing the fruits of it.
Marianne, is it because they don't exist, or is it the people who are not aware of them? We have other affirmative actions like Women Fund. We have that. We have AGPO, access to government procurement opportunities, which allows the women to get more than 30% of procurement opportunities. Is it that this doesn't trickle down to the people, or is it the people who don't know those opportunities exist?
So you said a good example. Is for businesses that are registered limited businesses, a business name registered in Kenya. And if you like, at the grassroots level, not many women are educated. Wamefika class 8, Form 4, and then they stop from there. And now the technicality of applying for these opportunities that the government is providing, are they providing assistance or education and trainings on how to be able to access these opportunities? So that's a major challenge. Especially, and also because not many women at the grassroots level like have a smartphone or are online all the time, and these things have come at this age and era. People are applying online. Are they availing the technicality for women to be able to register or to apply for these opportunities?
Yeah.
And
that's an important point, because Mwikali, you know, you've been in this sphere for quite a while, and now you know the Generational Equality Forum happened, the commitments were made, more than $44 billion was there. But how do we get that money to the people who actually need it? Which forms do you think would work? Do we go the CBO way, or what happens? Because there's always the rigors of bureaucracy. The money is there, it's been announced, but the people don't feel it.
I think when it comes to women's rights, and when I say women's rights, is both women's and girls' rights, we need to move out of this bureaucracy, because we don't need structures already that are there. Mostly these are patriarchal structures that work against women and girls to ensure they can get the funds. It's usually like the moment, like for us, I'll say, when you told me to explain even what us Coalition for Grassroots Human Defenders do, we are a social movement, but you would find like we've been doing all this fantastic work, even during this time of COVID, that the government was supposed to be doing, but they were not doing, even like giving COVID assistance to people. But we would get support from friends, family, and community members. But the moment you put this restriction, like it's a must, you have to be registered, you leave other women. Because already the system, the way it's created, it does not benefit women. And that's why you'll see, for example, even the program that we are running now, it's called Grassroots Feminist Women Lab, supported by Forum Civ. And having these ideas coalition, it's the point. If you remember last time when we were here at the show, Trevor used to say, I'm dreaming a country where it has feminist values and feminist leadership. Already I can see we're having the policy, but now, even like my local chief, my local MP, my member of parliament, does he really understand that there were commitments that were made by the president that he can bring the funds in the ground? But initially also they need to change the system on how money is being brought to the women in the local group. Because this system also excludes, it's not the system, as much as we are saying leave no one behind, but the political system in this country, it leaves especially the women who are vocal and women who are also liberators within the community. Unless you are a campaign manager for that politician, unless you are someone who was in that campaign team, when you will access these funds. For me, I'm very cognizant, and in terms of also watching, in terms of even as coalition within the feminist project that we are doing, the one I say was supported by Forum Civ, in following up even this commitment. Yes, they were saying they were committed in Paris, but does it translate with local community? Does it translate with the girl also when it comes to SHR, like sexual reproductive health and rights? You've been seeing also women about the issue of also sanitary towels. we should not be in a country where until now we have to tell people, can you please donate, we give girls sanitary towels, or can organization bring sanitary towels? Because also, like, if you look at the ancestors of civil society, also organization, it's not like we are here to complement what the government does, but most of the time the government has not been doing its work, and that's why it's left to civil society, especially women rights organization, which becomes harder.
Yeah.
And if you look also based on the EWID report, that's the Association for Women's Rights in Development, it's only 1% of development aid that comes to women's rights, not even governance. So if you trickle down to governance, if you trickle down to economic empowerment, there's a lot of restriction.
Yeah.
And even I wanted to attach the issue of what they're saying about socioeconomic rights. See a lot of women, is it Tala or the different companies, they usually target women, but the rates of the returning the money is usually high. So it keeps women on debt all the time compared to the number of men. Because also majority of men don't, the economic situation favors them, yeah, compared to them, to the women. But I'm not saying, like in a country, even like if there's one front of now even organizing these countries around socioeconomic rights. Yeah. Yeah.
And what would it take then? Do you think it's a matter of lack of goodwill from the government, or is it just the people who don't focus on the right things? This is a country where if you walk into any washroom, you will find condoms. Why can't we find sanitary pads there? Yeah. Because this is a matter of choice and need. Yeah. Is it a matter of goodwill?
Yeah, I think for me, I'll say it's a matter of goodwill and political willingness to support women and girls. And this is the high time even as women movement, but also I'm like in that point, gender issue should not only be left to women. It should be like a collective country issue where we are saying it's very important the government to invest on our women, because also women's right is also human right, and because also women needs are very important when it comes to we're 21st century. Yeah. So we can't be saying condoms are there for free and then girls, it's like even during the COVID, when girls were sent back home, and majority of the school, yes, even if they were getting the sanitary towels, but it has never been effective. Not everybody gets, and also like women, we are not homogeneous, girls are not homogeneous. Because there's COVID, the menses does not stop, it continues. So that's why we'll see the effect of COVID. It has led also to even men taking advantage of girls, because girls were lacking sanitary towels, girls were also like exposed to different form of violence, and also not forgetting also the violence against women and girls, because this is also something we need to talk about. Yeah. In terms of the rising number, now it has increased even during this time of COVID.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. How do we bring in